Hello and welcome to another episode of the City Skyline series where today I'm going to be doing some time management. So what I've added in this episode is, you can't see it right now because it's going fairly slowly, but I have a skybox that currently changes based on the time of day. So right now it is turning to morning. You can see the sun is rising, the shadows are changing, you can see that it's now kind of like midday, the time's coming back down. I've actually implemented, I can change the speed of time. So I've currently just pressed 1 and you can see the shadows are getting long very slowly. If I press 2, that speeds up. And then if I press 3, it speeds up a lot more. And the sun sets and it goes back to nighttime. So that's the crux of this video. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you're enjoying the channel. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first thing that you actually want to do before we get started in all this is go to your light source in this world outliner for your level. This light source, whatever your directional light is, find your directional light in here, and you want to select movable. You want to make sure that this can be moved at runtime so that we can make changes to the sky sphere. And kind of talking about the sky sphere, we're going to create a new version of it. So I'm going to delete this blueprint class I was making for testing. Right click here, we're going to make a new blueprint and it is going to be of type sky sphere. Can't type. So BP sky sphere. Select that. I'm going to call this City Builder Sky Sphere. Double click on that, open this up. You can see at the moment it's just defaulting to a nice sunset, and other than that it's just the bare bones sky sphere. If you click on the event graph, we're going to do a little bit of logic in here just to update everything. The first thing we actually want to do is we're going to create a new variable, and this is going to be a reference to a directional light actor. So directional light ref, we're going to call that. Go to the type, change that to an actor object reference. So in our begin play, we're going to get directional light actor, and we're going to set that to our reference. And then we can just use this from here on instead of calling this function every time. In our event tick, we're just going to add actually some local rotation to it. So if we pull this off and say add local rotation to the actor, drag that in, and let's just change the Y by 1 every frame. That will do just for a quick test. And then after this, we want to pull this out and we want to update sun direction. The target is a self. If we compile that and save that, go back to our main game, just drag this into the level so that we've got it. And then just before you run, click on your sky sphere and make sure you've set up the directional light actor. So if you click on the drop down, it will find the directional light that's already in your level. Just click that, and if you don't already have one, just drag and drop one in and the game will figure that out. So now the light source and the sky sphere kind of goes in line with the way the directional light is pointing. So now if we hit run, you can see, I mean, it's going super quick, but that is a day-night cycle. We are very quickly going between day and night time. You can see the sun kind of setting over there. Let's actually just slow this down a little bit, just so it's a little bit more obvious. So let's slow it down by a factor of 10, go back. And you can see there it sets, and then nighttime, nighttime, the sun will rise again. There we go. So that's really useful. Obviously it doesn't look perfect right now. You can actually go into the sky sphere itself and you can change all these horizon color curves so that you can get the colors that you want. I'll do that in the future or off camera probably. Art isn't really my forte, so I'm not gonna delve into that right now. Cool. So the next thing I want to change is I'm going to add in a new folder. And we're just going to call this folder time management. Oh, you can't add spaces. Pause management. Go into here. The first thing I'll make is an enum, and we'll call this City Builder Time Dilation enum. Open this up, and it just needs, for now, just 3 different things. We'll add a pause feature in the future probably, but for now we're just going to have normal, fast, and super fast. Like that. Save that. That's all we need there. Close that back down. Go to the main game. I'm going to create a new blueprint class. It's just going to be an actor. This is going to be our City Builder Time Manager. Open that up. And this is where we're going to run a lot of the time logic. There is a way to do like slow down time using something called the global time dilation. So if I just search for that, so you can set the global time dilation. And basically what this does is your delta time will change for everything in the game, and that's not really what I want to do, which is why I'm not using the global time dilation. I still want to be able to move my camera in the set in real time. I still want to use the UI real time. It's just a simulation that will speed up, which is why I'm doing this custom time manager here. I'm going to add a couple of variables in here. So let's add a float that will be our current time of day. I'm actually just going to set a value range on this. It should always be between 0 and 24 because we're on a 24-hour clock. We can open that up with the eye so that other places can access it, and you can just pull it, which will be useful. I'm going to create 3 more float variables. So we're going to call this normal speed. If I compile, the normal speed will be defaulted to 1. Fast speed will be defaulted to 2. And super fast speed, that will we'll default that to 5, so that'll be really quick. Cool, let's compile and save that. And then we actually want to also add in the type of the enum that we created. So that was time dilation enum. And that will be our time mode enum. By default, it will be set to the normal time. Cool. Right, so what I want to do then now is the first thing I'm actually going to do is update our current time of day based on what time mode enum we've got. So if I just pull that out and get a time mode enum, the first thing I'm going to do is add a switch statement like that. There we go. So when when we're in the normal state, we'll update the current time of day by the normal speed. Fast, we'll do it by the fast speed. Super fast, we'll do it by the super fast speed. I'm actually going to create a function that will do this. So if I just call update current time of day, and then if we add an input, which will be a float, and that will be increment amount. That's a float that needs to be. So get our current time of day, do an addition to it, that into there, and then one last check we do need to do is we need to make sure that this is less than 24. So let's say, in fact, let's do the opposite. Let's say, is this greater than or equal to 24? Because that's our maximum time of day. Branch this out. That branch in. If this is false, then we can simply just set our current time of day to the addition that we've made, so the increment amount plus the time of day, we can just plug that straight in, and then that is fine. We'll return out all good. Just need up the nodes a little. But if this is true, then instead of just setting it to 0, I'm just going to make sure how much we've gone over by, so that we're not having weird clock issues at midnight every day. So just grab this and then do a minus to it. We're gonna subtract 24 from it, and that's what we'll set our current time of day to be. Plug that in, and there we go. So quite simple logic. Current time of day, add the increment amount. Has this gone past the 24-hour limit? Yes, okay, go into here after this logic. No, just set the time of day. Cool. Back to the event graph then. I can actually get rid of that. So let's call the update current time of day on all of these switch statements. Normal, fast, and super fast. The normal speed, get that. That goes into the top one. Fast speed to that one, super fast speed will go into that one, and then just to neaten up our blueprints as much as we can because they get messy very quickly. Alright, cool. So this should be updating our current time of day. In the future, I don't know if we want to modify this by delta time. We probably do for frame rate issues, but it's a simulation, so maybe not. We can always change that in the future. I'm not going to involve delta time at the moment, but you guys feel free to. Okay, so the current time of day is fully exposed. That's good. What else do I want to do? I know what I need to do. I'm actually going to go into the project settings. We're going to add some more inputs. So we need some more action mappings. And this is basically our time control, so the buttons will press that mean that you can, go to normal speeds, double speed, really fast speed. So time, speed, normal, we're going to call this. And this is just going to be number 1 on the keyboard. Let's just copy that name, add another one, time, speed, fast. That'll be number 2 on the keyboard, and not last but not least. And finally, time, speed, super fast will be 3. Cool. And again, the reason that I do this for all my inputs is so that I can remap these variables at any time that I want, and I don't have to go searching through each individual file that I might have put it in to fix things up. Makes things a lot easier. So right, if I come into here and time, speed, normal event, when this comes through as a press, let's set the time mode enum to be the normal. Time, speed, fast, and I'll just get the time, speed, super fast one too. I'll put that below, put that on there, there, copy and paste that. When time, speed, fast is pressed, we go to the fast one. When time, speed, super fast, we go to super fast. Okay, and I should also expose these so that I can actually change these just based on what time manager I've got. Before we forget, let's drag and drop a time manager into the world, and I've got all my variables here to play with, so that's cool. Right, so now just for a bit of representation, let's go back to our sky sphere, and instead of having this update on the tick, let's actually change the local rotation based on the current time of day. So let's start with a get actor of class, and we're going to look for our time manager that we just made. CB time manager. Let's move all this up. I've got multiple links there, which is a bit strange. Let me just break that. Put that in. There we go. So let's get all actors a class. We'll get our time manager out, and then based on this time manager, I should be able to get the current time of day from that. And if I divide this time of day by 24, because we're 24 hours, I'll get a modifier. And this modifier will be between 0 and 1, and it will be, so 0 will be, it's midnight, full 1, if this modifier is 1, it will also be midnight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to then multiply this float by 360 degrees. Just mess up here. I'm going to pull this down and I'm going to make a rotator. And that rotator is going to be 0, a modifier multiplied by 360, like that. And the other two can be 0. And actually, it's not add actor local rotation I want, it's actually set actor rotation. Like that. And then we'll plug that rotator into there. Do that. It's okay because we're using directional lights, we don't have to worry about teleporting physics and stuff like that. And then just make sure you continue to update the sun direction. Okay, moment of truth. Let's hit play and see this work. Okay. Wow. All right. It's definitely working, I'd say. So this is... I'm going to stop running that because that's a bit of an epileptic fit right there. Why is that? That is because... Yes, the time of day is going really quickly. So say we're running 24 frames a second. Our normal speed is 1. So we're going to go through a full day-night cycle like straight away. So we do need to curb this normal speed a little bit. So let's go into our current time of day. So right now that increment amount is whether it's the normal. Let's actually change that. Let's change this to the speed modifier as a name. And we'll add a local variable in here. And this will be our time step. So if I change that to be a float, and then our default times, but so in each singular frame, how much do we want the game time to update? So I'm going to set that to 0.05. So we're still going through like an hour or more every second. Let me actually just get the time step. And then what I want to do is just multiply the time step by the speed modifier, and that's what I'm actually going to add to the time of day. So let's do a multiplication. It's getting a bit tight and messy in here, so let's pull this back a little. Time step, speed modifier should actually go to the top one just so it looks a bit neater. And then let's put that into top one and that one into the bottom one. Compile, save that, and hopefully now we won't get flashing disco lights. There we go. A very smooth time of day, similar to what we were already seeing. So that's cool. I'm actually going to slow that down just a touch more. So the default value, let's put it to 0.01. And the reason I'm doing this is just so that I can properly visually see if my different time steps are working. Okay, so I actually found a quick problem when I just ran and did a test. So Unreal does the thing that is actually quite smart. It makes sure that not every actor in the world is actually listening for your player input. But what that means is our time manager class, where we'd set up these input actions, it wasn't actually listening out for them. So we just need to make sure it does that. So if you, in the begin play, if you get your player controller out, and then based off of that, you just need to call enable input, plug that into the player controller and break that link. So you want the target to be the self and the player controller is the get player controller. Plug that in, make sure that all compiles. And then if I go back to the game now and I hit play, so time of day is changing fairly slowly. I'm at night, come back out. I'll actually put a building down and we should be able to see some shadows when we get to the day. So you can see shadow length changing is a good indicator of time. I'm going to press 3 now. And you can see the day-night cycle speeds up hugely. That's really cool. That's exactly what I'm aiming for. If I hit 2, it'll still be quite fast, but not too bad, and 1 slows it down to normal. Obviously, changing that step variable so it's an actual more manageable thing. This was just like a good representation of what's going on. So yeah, let's just change that local variable to... so let's just add another 0 in here so it kind of goes super slow. Right, and then just see how this looks. The last thing to fix actually is when I hit play, I should be at 0. So I should be at midnight when I hit play, I guess. And this currently isn't at midnight. This is actually probably... I can't tell where that'll be. I think that'll be about 90 degrees offset. So maybe I actually want to go into the sky sphere, and then maybe just need to add an offset to this rotator. So maybe if I do an addition to that, and let's just I think we have to add 90 degrees to it to make it correct. So let's just see what that does. If I hit play, I should start at midnight. Yeah, that looks like midnight to me. Cool. All right. That's it for this video. I hope it was useful and it's kind of what you were expecting. I know this was actually a request in a comment at some point, so I'm hoping this answered that person's questions. Obviously, we could do a bit more with the UI here, have a bit more of a good representation. But this will be good for the future. You know, we can have a sim that has different simulation speeds, which will be super cool. All right. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope it was useful. If you're liking this series, subscribing to the channel will really help out. Please comment any feedback that you have. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Bye for now.